van's engine growled like some ancient beast as it climbed the last bend of the gravel road. Dust trailed behind them like a serpent's tail, catching in the beams of the fading sun. The forest closed in tightly on both sides. Old growth. Pine, thick with moss and secrets, the kind of place that never forgot. Inside the van, Dick's friends laughed louder than the crackling stereo, unaware that nature around them had already begun to listen. Lena sat in the front passenger seat, map folded in her lap, more out of habit than necessity. Her blonde hair was tied in a no-nonsense braid, and her backpack was meticulously organized with first aid kits and bug spray. The organizer, the realist, and today, the leader of a weekend they'd never forget. Behind the wheel, Mark wore mirrored sunglasses and a cocky grin. Lena's boyfriend, equal parts charm and recklessness. GPS says we're 5 minutes from Black Hollow, he announced, smirking. Bet I get bonus points for not crashing us into a tree or a homicidal hiker, Ash muttered from the back, raising his phone to record a mock documentary segment. Day 1. 6 students venture into the cursed woods. Only one returns, with blurry footage. Can you not? Vanessa glared at him, clutching her small crystal pendant. We're already pushing our luck. You know this place is supposed to be haunted, right? Chloe, seated beside her with her feet on the seat, let out a breathy laugh. Vanessa, babe, everything's haunted in your mind. You think microwave popcorn is cursed? Vanessa rolled her eyes but said nothing. Outside, the trees thickened, forming walls of green shadows. The sun dipped just below the horizon. A deep orange hue bathed the forest in molten light. Jordan, the silent one, hadn't spoken since they left the city. He sat quietly, watching the woods roll past. His gaze lingered not on the road, but the timberline, as if expecting something or someone to step out from it. At last, they arrived. Black Hollow Campground was a forgotten piece of parkland, shuttered after a supposed animal attack a decade ago. But Lena's cousin, a forest ranger, still had access and owed her a favor. She'd secured the key to the rusted gate and handed it to Mark, who now stood beside it, swinging it open with a dramatic bow. Your wilderness kingdom awaits, my queen, he declared. The others laughed and rolled into the clearing. There were no cabins here, just fire pits and open sky. The trees surrounded them like silent spectators. Tents went up quickly. Ash filmed every moment, commenting on who would die first in the inevitable slasher scenario. Chloe did a twirl with her marshmallow stick. Vanessa smudged the fire pit with sage. Jordan unpacked in silence. That night, they gathered around the campfire. Flames danced in their eyes. Bottles were passed. Laughter echoed off the pines. But as the moon rose, round and swollen with silver, a hush fell. Okay, Ash said, setting his phone to record. Campfire story time. I did. Some research. Oh God, Lena sighed. No, listen, he continued. This place has history. People say a creature stalks Black Hollow. A wolf, not just any wolf. A massive, two-legged beast. One that walks like a man but kills like an animal. They call it the Hollow Wolf. Vanessa stiffened. Don't joke about that. Ash smiled devilishly. Not a joke. Legend says during the blood moon cycle, the beast hunts under the light of the full moon. Some say it used to be a man. Cursed, maybe. Others think it's something ancient, a spirit of vengeance. Chloe laughed nervously. What, like a werewolf? Ash nodded. Exactly, but not Hollywood. This thing doesn't turn you into a sexy teen with abs. It rips you apart and wears your face like a trophy. Jordan finally spoke, voice low. Legends start somewhere. They all looked at him. What? Chloe asked. Just saying. Sometimes there's truth in old stories. The fire crackled. In the distance, an owl called. Then, another sound. Farther off, deeper in the woods. A howl. Long, low. Unmistakable. They froze. Mark broke the silence. Coyote, probably. Vanessa clutched her crystal. That wasn't a coyote. Ash laughed. We just talked about werewolves. Of course you're hearing them now. But Jordan was staring at the tree line. The wind shifted. The fire sputtered. And for a moment, just a breath, they all felt like they were being watched. Morning came reluctantly. The sun pierced through the trees like a dull blade, and the air carried a damp, uneasy chill. Lena stirred first, sitting up in her tent to find the fire reduced to embers, and the others still wrapped in their sleeping bags, all except one. Mark, she called. No answer. His sleeping bag was empty, shredded at the opening, the fabric torn apart as if by claws. Lena's breath caught in her throat. Guys? One by one, the others emerged, groggy and confused. When they saw the state of Mark's campsite, laughter died in their throats. Jordan was already scanning the ground, squatting beside the ripped bag. These aren't knife marks, he said. What kind of animal does this? Vanessa asked, her voice quivering. Bear, Chloe offered weakly. Ash, already filming, leaned in for a close-up. Or maybe the Hollow Wolf? Lena spun toward him. Ash, shut up. This isn't a joke. Vanessa began to tremble. We need to call someone. Get help. Jordan held up his phone. No signal. Mine too, Lena confirmed. They raced to the van. The driver's side door hung slightly open. Inside, wires dangled like entrails beneath the steering wheel. The ignition had been torn out. Someone did this, Chloe whispered. No, Jordan said. Something. The day stretched long and tense. Ash filmed obsessively, narrating every theory. Vanessa sat curled up on a blanket, muttering prayers under her breath. Lena tried to stay calm, but her hands wouldn't stop shaking. "We should pack up and walk out," she said. "It's risky, but we can follow the road back." "No way we're making it down before dark," Ash replied. "You want to be out there tonight?" Night fell too fast. The fire returned, but it no longer felt like a source of warmth. It was a boundary, a fragile barrier between them and whatever waited beyond the dark. Ash, defiant, grinned. "Screw it. If this is a horror movie, I'm getting the footage." He strapped a GoPro to his head and took his flashlight. "Back in 30. "Ash, no," Lena began, but he was already gone, swallowed by the forest. Minutes passed, then more. 30, 40, an hour. Vanessa sobbed quietly. Chloe paced. Jordan stood like a statue. Then came the scream, a short, ragged scream, cut off. Mid-breath, they ran. Flashlights swinging wildly, breath ragged, they called his name until it echoed uselessly back. Then Chloe stopped. "Guys." She held up Ash's camera. The strap was slick with something dark. She pressed play. The footage showed shaky glimpses of trees, shadows, breath. Then a shape, huge black, crouched between the trunks. 2 glowing eyes, a snarl, then the camera hit the ground. Silence. Suddenly, from the tree line, something burst forward. The werewolf towered over them, 7 feet tall, hunched, with sinewy limbs and fur matted with gore, eyes like molten gold, teeth too long for its mouth. Its growl vibrated through the earth. They screamed. Chloe turned to run, but it was faster. It seized her mid-stride, dragging her into the darkness, her screams spiraling into silence. Lena, Vanessa, and Jordan ran, crashing through branches, tripping over roots, not daring to look back. They didn't stop until the moon vanished behind clouds and their lungs burned. Only 3 remained, and one of them was keeping a secret. They found refuge in an old ranger station hidden deep within the woods. Its windows were broken, the door hanging on a single rusted hinge, but the stone walls still stood, solid enough to hold back nightmares. Dust coated every surface, and the air smelled of mildew and old blood. Lena barred the door with a splintered bench. Vanessa collapsed onto the floor, face pale and wet with tears. Jordan paced in silence, flashlight casting long, shaky shadows across the walls. "We have to get out," Vanessa whispered. "We can't stay here. It's going to find us. It's going to kill us like the others." Lena crouched beside her. "We'll get through this. We just need to wait until morning, that's when it leaves, right?" Jordan stopped pacing. "Right?" she asked again, more to herself this time. "I don't think it's just some mindless beast," Jordan finally said, his voice low. "It knew to cut the wires, to take Ash's camera, to leave no trace." Lena narrowed her eyes. "What are you saying?" Jordan turned toward them, the flashlight under his chin casting his face in eerie relief. "My family. We've hunted things like this for generations, werewolves, skinwalkers, not myths, not stories. Curses that pass through blood." Vanessa's face twisted in horror. "You knew? And you still came here?" "I didn't know it would be here. But I started noticing things, signs. Ash filming everything, acting paranoid. Mark having nightmares before we left." Chloe's reflexes heightened. "But Vanessa," he looked at her, eyes sharp. "You've been different since day one. Sensitive to the moon. That crystal of yours. Protection, right? Or suppression?" Vanessa stood, backing away. "You're insane. I found this." Jordan held up a weathered notebook, pulled from a shelf beneath the ranger's desk. Journal entries from a man named Edgar Harlan, ranger stationed here 20 years ago. Describes attacks, survivors, and a girl who lived. She was bitten, but never turned, until the next full moon. He flipped to the last page, a sketch of a girl, pale, crystal pendant around her neck. She looked just like Vanessa. "No," Vanessa whispered, shaking her head. I didn't know. I swear, my grandmother gave me this pendant. She said it kept nightmares away." Jordan took a slow step toward her. "It was never nightmares. It was memory. And then it began." Vanessa's body convulsed violently. Her limbs bent at unnatural angles. Bones cracked, skin rippled. Her scream became a howl, Hair burst from her arms, her face elongated, jaw snapping outward into a snout, fingernails stretched into claws. The pendant burned against her chest before snapping apart and falling to the floor with a metallic chime. Lena screamed. Jordan dove for his bag, pulling free a pistol, matte black, silver bullets already loaded. "Vanessa, fight it!" Lena begged, but it was too late. The creature lunged, furred, fanged, and primal. Jordan fired once, twice. Blood sprayed across the wall. The beast staggered, snarled, then collapsed with a final guttural groan. Vanessa lay motionless, human once more, eyes wide and empty. Jordan fell to one knee, panting, but then he winced. Blood soaked through his shirt. 4 deep gashes carved down his side. Lena's voice trembled. "She got you." He nodded slowly, his skin already paling. "I'm not making it out of here." Lena shook her head, tears spilling down her cheeks. "Don't say that. You have to finish this," Jordan said, pressing the gun into her hand. "If I change, you end it. Promise me." She stared at him. The fire crackled behind them, and somewhere outside, a second howl rose in the distance. They weren't alone after all. The storm rolled in just past midnight, thunder creeping low through the trees like a beast of its own. Rain lashed against the shattered windows of the ranger cabin, hissing as it hit the embers in the fireplace. The scent of smoke and wet earth filled the room. The werewolf's body, Vanessa's body, lay twisted on the floor, already starting to cool. Lena sat beside Jordan, pressing a blood-soaked towel against his wound, but the bleeding wouldn't stop. Worse, his skin was turning gray, veins pulsing with something thick and black beneath the surface. "It's already started," Jordan said, voice hoarse. "I can feel it, like something's crawling under my skin, pulling my bones apart." Lena shook her head, eyes wild. "No, we'll figure something out. We'll find someone. There's got to be an antidote, or there's not," he said gently. "We don't get second chances." Outside, branches snapped. The sound of heavy footsteps moved through the woods, slow, deliberate. A new werewolf, or maybe the original, one they hadn't seen yet. The storm masked its growls, but not its presence. Jordan turned to Lena. His breath was shallow. "You have to go now." "I'm not leaving you," she snapped. "You have to, because when I turn, I won't know you. I won't remember this, and I won't be able to stop myself." She hesitated, the gun heavy in her lap. He reached into his bag and pulled out a flare, pressing it into her hand. "There's an old fire tower half a mile east. Follow the ridge trail, signal for help. They'll see you by dawn." A long silence passed between them. Then Lena leaned in and kissed his forehead, tears mixing with the blood on his skin. "I'm sorry," she whispered. He smiled faintly. "So am I." She stood, took the pistol and the flare, and backed away. At the threshold she turned. Jordan's eyes were already glowing. She shut the door and jammed it with a broken beam. Then she lit the match and dropped it on the kerosene-soaked floor. The fire caught instantly. From inside she heard Jordan scream, not in pain, but in defiance. His cry twisted into something primal. His shadow against the window grew taller, broader. His outline broke into that of a creature, limbs stretching, teeth bared. A monster, once a man. The flames surged higher, and then his howls rose above them all. Lena ran, not looking back. She followed the ridge through wind and rain, the trees blurring beside her, limbs clawing at her coat. Behind her, the fire cast an orange glow over the forest, sending long shadows reaching across the pines. She reached the tower just before sunrise, scrambling up rusted stairs, lungs heaving. At the top, she lit the flare and raised it to the sky. A crimson beam pierced the fog, a signal to anyone still watching. But as the light of dawn broke over the horizon, Lena collapsed to her knees, and something shimmered in her eyes, a golden hue, faint but unmistakable. The curse hadn't ended, it passed on, in silence, in blood, in fire. The hollow wolf would rise again, If you enjoyed this story and want more chilling legends and terrifying tales, make sure to like this video. It really helps us out. You can also click on our Ultimate Werewolf playlist to watch more horror and cryptid stories. The link is in the description below. And if you love horror, folklore, and unexplained mysteries, subscribe to the channel and join our growing community of fear seekers. But don't stop there. Turn on notifications by clicking the bell icon so you never miss a new story. Because in the world of horror, the scariest things happen when you least expect them. And trust me, you don't want to be left in the dark. Welcome to the darkness.